The story begins with a moment that seemed lighthearted, even playful, but it ended up becoming something else, far more complex than anyone could have imagined. My name is Melissa, and I've always regarded myself as a steady woman who understood her family and her life. I grew up in a small town in Indiana with values rooted in honesty, loyalty, and family bonds. But one summer, a sequence of events shook those values, forcing me to confront truths I had no idea even existed within me. It was a sunny afternoon when my nephew, Ethan, came running across the backyard like a wild ancestor. He was 20, tall, strong from working construction with his father, and carried himself in a way that seemed almost larger than life. I was in my mid-30s, married to my husband Mark, and I had always known Ethan as the little boy who used to follow me around during picnics with the family. But that day, as he chased me with a sly smile, acting like we were in some prehistoric time where he was the hunter and I was the prey, something about the game unsettled me. It was innocent on the surface, but it stirred emotions I wasn't prepared for. "Run, Amalisa," he exclaimed with a loud laugh as he stomped on my heels. "You will never evade me." I ran across the grass, laughing nervously, clutching the sides as I tried not to trip over my sundress. The others were inside the house, my husband Mark, my sister-in-law, and the rest of the family preparing dinner for the barbecue. It was just the two of us. Outside, the warm air thick with the smell of freshly cut grass and a low hum of cicadas. When I looked back at Ethan, I saw the jovial determination reflected in his eyes. For a split second, I wasn't sure if I was laughing because it was funny or because I didn't know how else to respond. I was finally caught by him, grabbing my arm like he was some caveman. Dragging me back to his cave, I stumbled into his ribcage. The moment froze. His chest and my wrist were warmed by his warm hand, firm against me, and I felt a jolt of awareness that I resisted admitting. He let go immediately, laughing again, brushing it off like it was nothing more than a silly game. "Gotcha," he said with a grin before jogging back toward the deck. I stood there for a moment, trying to shake off the pressure of breathing strange rush of adrenaline. He was my nephew. I ought not to have felt that way, but sometimes life plays tricks on you, and emotions don't follow the rules you think they ought to. That evening, I couldn't stop thinking about it. At the dinner table, surrounded by family chatter and laughter, I caught myself watching Ethan. He was joking with his cousins, helping his mom bring dishes from the kitchen, being the same kind young man he had always been. But I felt different. I felt like something between us, something invisible, had changed. I attempted to ignore the thought, reminding myself that family was sacred, that my marriage to Mark mattered more than anything. However, the more I tried, the more the feelings seemed to grow. Ethan came back over the following few weeks too often. His summer break from college had him back in town, and my sister-in-law leaned on me to help keep him busy with errands around the house. Mark worked long shifts, often away from home, so Ethan and I ended up spending more time, more than I had anticipated. We painted the garage, cleaned out the fence, and even went grocery shopping together. Each time, the playful energy between us appeared to penetrate the surface like a secret neither of us spoke aloud. One afternoon, as we brought the boxes in the garage, Ethan suddenly stopped and wiped away sweat as he leaned against the wall. From his brow, he mentioned half, smiling. "When we were playing that game outside the other day, I felt like I was 10 years old again. You once pursued me, remember?" I laughed, though my throat felt tight. "Of course I remember. You are the ones who always run barefoot through the yard, trying to catch fireflies faster than anyone else." He looked at me, then really looked. His eyes stayed on her longer than they should have, and the air between us grew heavy. I turned away quickly, fumbling with the box I was holding. Well, those were good times, I attempted to say lightly. Steer the conversation back to safer ground. But I knew deep down that we were being perched on the edge of something dangerous. And the more I denied it, the closer I seemed to lean toward it. The truth about infidelity is that it doesn't always begin with physical betrayal. It often starts quietly with glances without words, hidden thoughts, or small moments of connection that feel harmless at first. I informed myself that it was nothing. But late at night, lying awake, while Mark snored beside me, I found replaying Ethan's laughter for myself. The way he looked at me, the way his hand had felt when he caught my wrist, it, despite my best efforts, haunted me. Silence it. And then came the day that changed everything.